Hi, this is Don McAllister and welcome to another Screencasts Online weekly tip video. This week sees the launch of iOS 11 and head over to ScreenCastsOnline.com to get in-depth coverage of all the new features of iOS 11 on both the iPad and iPhone. In this tip video, I'm going to give you some tips on updating the iPad home screen using drag and drop. In this week's full tutorial, I explained how it's now possible to rearrange your home screen icons without having to go into jiggle mode. You can now just drag and drop icons to rearrange them. For instance, if I want to move my FaceTime icon, I can just tap and hold and drag, and let's put it on the third row and release, and it's now moved. Now with iOS 11, it's possible to rearrange icons in bulk. Now you do have to go into jiggle mode to do that, so just tap and hold and keep it held for a little while. And then you get the standard jiggle mode for all your icons. Let's say I wanted to move some icons from the middle row and put them all down at the bottom. So let's start with the Maps application. And then let's say Notes, Reminders, and News. And with these selected, just release, and they're repositioned at the bottom of the screen. Now we can use the same technique to move icons to another screen. So again, you would normally go into jiggle mode. So I'll just hold down the calendar icon and just keep it held until we go into jiggle mode. Let's say I wanted to move the iTunes store, the App Store, let's say Books, and let's say Reminders. So now I can just drag those off to the second screen and then release. Now the neat thing about this is you can also use the same technique for creating folders, and folders are basically just containers that hold multiple apps. It sometimes helps if you don't want too many screens but you want to arrange all your apps into separate folders. Again, to do this, just go into jiggle mode, so I'll hold the tips icon and keep it held down. Right, let's say I wanted to move my Podcasts app, my Pages app, my Find My Friends app, and Find My Phone app all into a single folder, and let's include that with the Feedback app. I just hover over the Feedback app, position the icons in the folder, and then release. Now I can of course tap into here and rename them. We'll say done, and then press the home button. Now we can still remove apps from this folder just by drag and drop. So if I just drag it across and then release, that's now out. But to remove multiple apps, I need to go back into jiggle mode. So we'll tap on the Feedback app, wait for it to start jiggling. And let's say I wanted to move Find My Phone. I wanted to remove Podcasts app and the Pages app. Come over here, let go, and they're now out of the folder. And of course, to remove the folder, if I just tap in here and drag the last application out, that folder is now deleted. If you want to learn more about using your Apple devices, there are over 700 full video tutorials available to Screencast Online members, covering all aspects of the Mac, iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, and even the Apple TV. Now, all full members receive a new Apple-related video tutorial each and every week, as well as a free subscription to the Screencast Online monthly magazine, packed with videos and articles on getting the most out of your Apple devices. Now you can get your free 14-day trial membership over at ScreenCastsOnline.com, or check out some of the free content over on the SCO Showcase app on the iPad, iPhone, and Apple TV. That's it for this week. I'll be back next week with another tip, so I'll speak to you then.